Hi, this is Eric with Orbtr, and I'm going to walk you through basic configuration for the Orbtr Sales and Marketing Automation Suite, as well as our all of our lead tracking functionality. A lot of people ask, by the way, why lead tracking is necessary, and it's a great question. But it's invaluable information to any person who's involved in a sales activity. Number one, a great salesperson isn't just defined by they're not just defined by how often they follow up. It's how well they know their customer and knowing exactly when to follow up. And a lot of the intelligence that you can use to make those decisions better and more consistently is going to be available in Orbtr. And I'll show you what I mean in just a couple of minutes. But first, I want to go through the basic setup for Orbtr. Orbtr installs just like any other plugin. When you get your welcome email, you'll have the link to download it. And from your plugin screen, you just go to Add New, Upload, and you'll upload the zip file just from your hard drive. Very simple. You'll activate it, and then Orbtr will be installed, and you'll see all of these options appear on your menu. So, and also on the plugin screen, very important to note that when there's an update, make sure you check your plugin screen fairly often, because when there's an update available for Orbtr, that's going to appear. You're going to get the little nag right here that says please update. You'll want to check back every once in a while so that you make sure you're always running the most recent stuff and you've got all the latest functionality. So once I've installed Orbtr, I configure it here, and it takes just 2 minutes. In my welcome email, I got an API key and also an account ID. I just copy and paste those right in. Notification emails. This will be blank when you first install Orbtr. If you continue to leave it blank, you will still get emails. They'll go to whatever the notification, or rather whatever the email address that you used at checkout when you bought Orbtr. But you can change that here, and you can also add multiple email addresses by separating them with a comma. You'll set your new lead default priority. This will be when you install Orbtr, this will be warm, but you can change that to cold or hot. Cold leads are all the behavior is tracked. On warm leads, all the behavior is tracked. Plus, you'll get an email notification in real time every time a new lead comes to the site. And then if it's a hot lead, you're going to not only is all the behavior going to be tracked, and you will get the email alerts telling you when a lead has come to your website, but the hot leads also float to the top when you're looking at your leads in the Orbtr system. And this default priority is essentially what's going to be automatically applied to all new leads. We'll skip the mobile setup. We'll cover that in the mobile video. And remember also to add in the URLs for all of your social media profiles. These are going to be used. These don't apply directly to lead tracking, but they are used by the mobile template, by the email templates, by the landing page template. So this is important, and we'll cover email marketing in a different video as well. So once you've set this up, you are ready now to start tracking leads. How do we get leads tracked? That's the next question. We integrate with two great form handlers. One of them is Gravity Forms. That's a paid plugin. It integrates with a lot of stuff. Great for marketing automation. And then the other one is a free plugin called Jetpack, which can also be used to create forms. If you're using Jetpack for your forms, then any form completed, any Jetpack form that's completed will result in the lead being tracked in Orbtr. In Gravity Forms, we set it up so that you could decide what forms would result in leads being tracked, and I'll show you how to set that up. You just take any Gravity form, and you'll see that this one already has the little Orbtr planet icon next to it, which means that the results of this form are going to be tracked as leads in Orbtr. But I set it up here. I edit the form. and I go to my form settings, and I go to advanced, and right there at the bottom is enable Orbtr integration, and I'll need to do this on any form that I want to be tracked in Orbtr. Super easy. There are a couple of other ways that I can get leads into email. Obviously, not that I can get leads into Orbtr. Obviously, not all leads will fill out a contact form on your website. However, even though they don't all fill out forms on my website, I do correspond with all of my prospects via email. And very often in email, I will send a link to a blog post, to a white paper. Here's that web page. Here's that page you were looking for on my website. And there's a very simple code extender that I can add to the end of those URLs when I embed them in my emails, which is just the page URL as you would copy and paste it from WordPress, just as always, and then *o email equals and the individual's email address. That's it. And I can embed this in Gmail, in Outlook, in any email client. And if that link is clicked, then that's going to result in a tracked lead in Orbtr. The third way is by using my email newsletters. And it works the exact same way. I can take any link in my email newsletters and encode it with that *o email equals. But instead of the individual's email address, because obviously I might have 300 or 3,000 people on my list, I insert the merge tag for email address that my email marketing provider gives me. And this will be in the documentation. Just about every email marketing provider has this information, and all you need to do is copy and paste that merge tag into the code, and you can use that in your email newsletter, and all those links will be not only tracked by your email marketing provider, whether it's MailChimp, Campaign Monitor, etc., but also within Orbtr. So once we start tracking leads in Orbtr, we go to our dashboard, and this is showing me two very important pieces of information. Number one, what leads are actually live on my website right now. And this one is me, and I am on this website right now. And so Orbtr is identifying me as being actively online. And then down here I have my recently added leads. If I go to all leads, I have all the leads that are currently in the system sorted by priority, so the hot ones are at the top, so I get more visibility on those. And as I roll over them, I get options to edit, delete. Sometimes you'll get a spam bot or something that fills out your form, and you don't want them polluting your lead tracker, so you'll delete it. You can view the page views. There are also a couple of other really important features on this screen that I wanted to point out. You can push this orange button and export all of your leads as a CSV. That's obviously important if you want to ensure that everyone that you're tracking is also receiving your email newsletters, is also in your CRM, etc. I can also sort and filter this in a variety of ways. So if I wanted to sort by email in ascending order, I can hit filter. But sometimes I'm going to want to just find a specific person. And when you have a lot of leads in Orbtr, you'll have the pagination at the bottom here, allowing you to go to the next page of results, etc. But if you really just want to find something quickly, you'll just want to search for them, and you can do that here. I'm going to show you some of the other features on this screen. First of all, I can view an individual's page history, or viewing history. And this is the complete browsing history of this individual, and this individual happens to be me. So I see everything that I visited. I see the date and time that I visited, and there's a lot of information here. This is showing you what I'm interested in. This is showing you how often I visit. You can sometimes see very distinct differences in behavior from somebody who visits your website once versus somebody who visits your website multiple times. The other thing that I want to just call attention to is that we actually track people's behavior before they fill out the form. So if somebody looks at 10 pages and then fills out the form to contact you, you're going to see those 9 pages before the contact form appear on this history. Now, if that person doesn't fill out the form, well, that history is trashed. But for the people who do become leads, you're going to get pretty much as complete a browsing history as possible. So let's go back to the all leads screen, and I'm going to show you the other options here. So if I edit this lead, I get a few more features. First of all, sometimes we may be missing the name on an individual. We might just have their email address. Potentially the name is incomplete or something like that. So I can ensure that their name is correct. I can change their lead priority. So let's say that that this person is no longer a hot lead. I can deprioritize them to warm or cold, or if someone cold has become a more important person in my business, I can prioritize them higher. I can add notes. From here, once again, I can view the history. I can send them an email using whatever my browser's default email preference is, whether that's Gmail or Outlook or whatever. And I can also look them up on data.com. Now, this is really important because obviously sometimes we know who the individuals on our website are. There's somebody we met at a networking event. There's someone that was referred to us by another client. But sometimes they're complete strangers, and we want to get some information about them before we go and call them up. And so I can look them up on data.com. This used to be known as Jigsaw, by the way, until they were bought by Salesforce. And if this person is listed in data.com, I get some of their information, and I can also get information about the company. It is free to use data.com, but you do need to set up an account. It's free to do. It takes 2 minutes, and once you have an account and once you're logged in, you're going to be able to look up anybody you want on data.com, and that's accessible right here through Orbtr. So that's that's basically the overview on lead tracking, and it's a very powerful tool. Instead of leads just being names and email addresses, now a lead is a complete story about how that person's been using your website, what they're interested in, how often they come. You've got a really big picture of what that person is doing, and that's valuable information. And then when you factor in real-time email alerts every time a hot lead or a warm lead comes back to your website, well, that's a really powerful tool, because now you've got an individual telling you, hey, I'm on your website right now, I'm looking at this page, and as a salesperson, it's practically a crystal ball. The lead is telling you when it's time to follow up. So really powerful tool, and we've just seen tremendous results with it. So that's lead tracking and basic setup for Orbtr. If you have any questions, visit orbtr.net. We've got a lot more resources and videos on there. And thanks so much for watching.